Defense is dead in Madden 26, or at least that's what everyone thinks. Even Henry, the literal best player in the world, is getting torched for 70 plus points by other pros.
I can't, bro. I can't keep up with the quick hike, bro. I just can't, bro. I literally can't.
But everything is about to change because the secret's out. Players are discovering odd front overload blitzes that get home off the edge every single time. And if you're watching right now, you're already going to be ahead of the curve. In this video, we're breaking down both 3-4 odd and 3-3 odd, the two best formations for this blitz style. We'll be breaking down all the pro secrets, including how to beat untargeting, counter a blocked running back, and simple coverages you can use when they start max protecting. And because talk is cheap, I'm breaking down 3 live games where I run exclusively these defenses and get 3 rage quits in a row. Let's start with 3-4 odd, the more aggressive of the two defenses, where we're gonna call primarily pinch buck 0. And to set up this defense, it's actually remarkably simple. The only thing that I do is show blitz my linebackers by pressing right on the D-pad and then the right bumper, and it's gonna look something like this. And what you're gonna see is when our opponent snaps the ball, one or both of our linebackers are going to come in. Now, one recommendation I may have, and I'll get into this a lot further later, is I would flip this play because I want to user on the side of the running back. So if he does go on a route, that's my responsibility and I can go and cover him, right? It's super basic. You're gonna see I'm able to go and cover him and the blitz comes in, right? It's a mild recommendation. But the real cool thing about the overload front blitzes in general is that you don't need to send, 6 people like we have here. You can actually send, well, only 4. And let's say we're sending the blitz off the right, and the reason we call pinch buck O is because this linebacker has a nice A-gap blitz angle, which really makes the overload front blitzes super, super good. You'll see we're using the same thing in 3-3 odd. Now, what I like to do is I'll actually put a hard flat on this outside linebacker, and then I'll maybe spy this defensive tackle. And the blitz will still come in even though we're sending only 4 people. You're gonna see Greg Russo comes in clean off the edge. And it really is that simple with 3-4 odd. You can get away with sending only 4 people and zoning out the opposite side and maybe putting a hard flat there. And you're gonna see, once again, you're going to get that outside linebacker coming in clean. And a lot of the times your opponent just won't be able to respond. Now, if you want the same edge pressure, but in a better coverage defense, you're going to run 3-3 odd, where if you're blitzing off the right, you run hot blitz bail, and if you're blitzing off the left, you run overload 3 press. In either case, you must make sure auto flip is off and you're showing a cover 2 shell. Now, when you come out in pretty much any play in nickel 3-3 odd, this is hot blitz bail in this case, it's going to look like a disaster, something like this. But you can organize this defense by simply showing blitz your linebackers by pressing right on the D-pad and then the right bumper. Super simple stuff. And then what you're going to do is nothing. As far as the blitz goes, what you're going to see is that the blitz is going to come in off this right of screen edge, right? So hot blitz bail is the play call here, and we're getting heat off the right of screen edge. But the reason this is so good is because we can actually get the blitz in only sending 4 people, similar to something like 3-4 odd pinch buck 0. Now what you're going to notice is I'm going to put the slot corner in a hard flat and the left of screen defensive end in a QB spy. You're going to see, now we're only sending 4. And what you're going to see is that the blitzer is still going to come in clean and it's still screaming at our opponent. So sending 4 people and getting in against 5 blockers. Now, if you're a beginner as far as coverage adjustments, I recommend you just put the slot corner in a hard flat and then the left of screen defensive end in a QB spy. This is the basic cover 3 shell that you can use. But if you're more advanced, I recommend you put the strong side safety in a deep half and the strong side outside corner in a hard flat. Rather, I should just say the right side. And then I like to put the free safety in an inside third on top of those 2 adjustments. Now what this will do is create a cover 2 on the right and a cover 3 look on the left. So then our only responsibility as a user is over the middle. And when you're guarding over the middle, our opponent is pretty much asking to throw picks when he throws there. So that's what I recommend you do when running hot blitz bail. But for overload 3 press, it's a little bit different. You're still gonna show blitz your linebackers by pressing right on the D-pad and then the right bumper. It's gonna look something like this. And then what I like to do is press triangle and down on the left stick, and then shade underneath by pressing triangle and down on the right stick. Really only 3 quick adjustments, okay? And what you're gonna notice is sending 5, of course. I'll show the play art before I snap the ball. You can see it looks like this. The blitz is going to come in, right? Same thing as the other play where you're overloading one side of the field with that A-gap blitzer, someone's going to come in. And just like before, you'll also notice that you can QB spy or put this defensive end in anything, right? And the blitz, because you're overloading the other side, will still come in clean. So once again, we're sending 4 people and getting in against 5 blockers. It's very, very, very simple. Now, as far as coverage goes, you can basically leave it like this, which is just a cover 3 with 2 hard flats. This is pretty good defense on its own. But what I recommend, especially if the left of screen is the wide side, is I'll put the left of screen safety, the free safety, in a deep half, and the outside corner on the left in a hard flat. So the coverage will look something like this. This is basically the same as last time. We're responsible for the middle, guard the middle for the beginning of the play, and watch your blitz come in. But no matter how good these blitzes are, they'll never come in if you don't understand chip blocking. Watch what happens when the tight end chips your blitzer. That bump, it completely kills your pressure and gives the quarterback all day to throw. So whenever you're sending a blitz, it is best to send it on the opposite side of the tight end. That way, your blitzer won't get bumped and can come in free at the quarterback. Before we get into the tricks that beat every pass protection, the coverages that clamp the meta, and our live games, I need to show you the resource that top players are using to stay months ahead of everyone else. And that resource is victoryformation.gg, currently home to 5 complete game plans and 40 plus elite tips, with new updates every single week. We've also just added the Titans defensive game plan, which goes super in depth. More odd front blitzes, elite coverage shells, and even red zone defense. Now our members are dominating online, crushing their league competition, and some are even winning hundreds of dollars in tournaments. So if you're ready to join the winning team, you can get your first month for only $11.95 using code SWOLO. Now both blitzes we just covered get blocked if they simply untarget your user. This causes the offensive line to steer towards the blitz side, guaranteeing it gets picked up. Luckily for us, there's a very easy counter for them untargeting. So what you're gonna see here is if they simply untarget our user, we know by now it's going to pick up our blitz, right? You're gonna see it's going to pick it up pretty clean. They're gonna have tons of time in the pocket. They can make pretty much any read on the field. However, they're untargeting our user, which means in this case, let's just set up something like this. We can run through the line. So there's a really unique way to do this. You can actually user lock. So I like to press left on the D-pad and then the right bumper, and then hold down on the left stick. Do not press R2 in this case. Minor detail, but really important. Just down on the left stick, and you're gonna see, we're gonna run straight through the line and go and sack the quarterback, right? So that's something you can do when they're untargeting your user in the 3-4 odd. Once your opponent gets sick of getting screamed at, they're going to start blocking their halfback, which will block most base versions of these blitzes. But if you're dead set on getting heat, we got something for you. In order to come in against a blocked running back in nickel 3-3 odd, you only need to send 5 people, so it's a lot more viable. But you need to pay attention to where the running back is. It's actually really important. So what I'm gonna do is show blitz out of overload 3 press when the running back is on the left. So overload 3 press if the running back is on the left. And all I'm going to do is on the snap of the football, so this is what their protection looks like, I'm going to engage with this right guard, okay? So to do that, I'm gonna press left on the D-pad and then the right bumper, hold down on the left stick, hold the right trigger, and then engage with this right guard. And you're gonna see the defensive tackle will basically come in free every single time. The running back doesn't know who to cover, and the defensive tackle can come in free. Once again, let's set it up. You're gonna see, engage, defensive tackle, completely free. Because the running back is so hyper-focused on blocking his inside linebacker on his side of the field, he pretty much ignores the defensive tackle. And then the guard just doesn't know who to pick up. You can see, defensive tackle comes in completely clean. And that's when the running back's on the left. But when the running back is on the right of screen, we need to employ similar tactics, but it's slightly different. So what I'm gonna do is show blitz out of overload 3 press and press, same thing that we've been doing. But what we're going to do is we're going to re-blitz the running back side linebacker, so the right of screen in this case, and we're going to user the left of screen linebacker. So when they block their running back, their focus will be the right of screen inside linebacker, and when we engage with this left guard, you're going to see that the blitz is still going to come in because the running back is focused on something else. So that's what we do when the running back is on the right. I'm going to go through it one more time. Show blitz, press, user the left of screen, blitz the right of screen inside linebacker, user lock, left on the D-pad, right bumper, go against the blocked running back, of course, hold R2 and down on the left stick, engage with this left guard, and you're going to see that player comes in completely clean, right? So we can still come in against a blocked running back in 3-3 odd very, very easily. Now, while you can send 6 against a blocked halfback, the smarter play is usually send 3 coverage. Think about it. They've got 4 receivers running routes, and you've got 8 defenders sitting in coverage. And if you set up your send 3 correctly, one of your players can even get a one-on-one with the halfback. So let me show you some coverage cells you can use when you know your opponent is blocking their halfback. To set up send 3 coverage in 3-4 odd, it's really easy. We're just gonna show blitz our linebackers, put both outside linebackers in hard flats, and then put a QB spy on the defensive end on the side you're using. So it's gonna look something like this. So we have man coverage across the board, and we have hard flats for those short crossers and drags that can really torch man coverage. So all around, we have a great defense in front of us. And the cool thing about this is if you know they're blocking their running back, a lot of the time, the free running linebacker is going to get a one-on-one with the running back. So in this case, he didn't. We ended up shedding and everything was pretty much guarded. But in many cases, that will happen. So in this case, let's just set it up quickly and showcase really what happens here. You can see right there, Matt Milano has a one-on-one with the running back. Now, granted, he didn't shed that time, but eventually he will shed. If you have a good linebacker that maybe has some decent pass rush stats, you're going to see that one-on-one can really cause the pass rush to come in quite quickly and put that extra pressure on our opponent. You can see he's coming in this time. He eventually sheds, puts the pressure on our opponent, and gets a sack. So in 3-4 odd, we can get one-on-ones with the halfback, and then we have stellar man coverage with flats behind it. Before I break down the nickel 3-3 odd coverages, it's important to mention that I run my curl flats at 20 to create a Mabel on one side of the field. Now for most of our coverages, we're gonna call overload 3 press, but it doesn't really matter what play you call. So what I'm gonna do is show blitz, press, make everything look the same, shade underneath though, and then put the left side slot corner in a curl flat, he'll be in a 20-yard curl flat, and spy the user side defensive end. Now the nice thing about this coverage shell is you have the right side of the screen Mabeled, or the left side of the screen Mabeled, my apologies. And then you have the right side with your user, a hard flat, and a spy. And then of course you have the 3 deep outside zones. And the other cool thing about this defense is because of the alignment of these 3 blitzers, you're guaranteeing one-on-one. Even though they're blocking 6 and everyone should realistically be double teamed, one player is going to get a one-on-one, whether it be the linebacker or a defensive lineman. So when I snap the ball, let's actually just pay attention to the pass rush here. You're gonna see we're getting a one-on-one on the left, right? So actually it was the linebacker that got a one-on-one with one of the offensive linemen. And then originally, Ed Oliver got a one-on-one here. So take a look. You're gonna see one-on-one, he actually goes and doubles him. Okay, Matt Milano is now in the one-on-one. And you're gonna see eventually he sheds and gets the sack. Now you can see this guy just doesn't have any responsibilities, and that is what is allowing for us to create those one-on-ones, all right? And the other cool thing is the coverage is great, right? So if they run, let's say, something like this, right, which a lot of people will when they have a blocked running back, they'll flood one side of the field. The curl flat will do a great job at guarding the corner, and the hard flat will do a great job at guarding anything attacking the flats. And then we would guard everything over the middle. So that's what I recommend you do when you want to play send 3 coverage in nickel 3-3 odd. All right, you've got the playbook. Now let me show you how this actually works in real games. In our first game, our opponent is going to start off running the ball. But since his formation has the tight end and halfback on one side of the field, it allowed us to hover on that side, then easily walk in for a gap shoot. Then facing a 3rd and long, we knew our opponent had to pass. So we called our basic 3-4 odd blitz, sending 6 people and immediately screamed at him during the play action. Like many opponents, he assumed he could go to 5 wide to beat the blitz. This is when we swapped to nickel 3-3 odd, overload 3 press, and screamed at him with our slot corner. After this, our opponent realized he couldn't beat these blitzes and quit the game. Our next opponent came out in a heavier set, so we once again called 3-4 odd, and since he ran it to the right with a slower handoff, it was instantly shot in the backfield by our defensive line. Even on 2nd down, he remained in this heavy set, But in an obvious situation, we pass committed our defense, causing our blitz to come in while our man coverage covered his receivers. On third down, we once again called pinch buck 0. But since his halfback was on the left, we flipped it and usered him while our blitz screamed in. We ran the same defense on fourth, and the pressure forced a quick read, which resulted in an interception and ultimately a pick 6. In our opponent's next few plays, we got a quick sack and another interception, which resulted in a prompt conceding of the game. After this, our next opponent was a bit tougher, and even though we were screaming at him, he eventually got to our 1 yard line on 3rd and goal. But this is when we dialed up our all-out send 7 blitz with 2 hook curls and 2 hard flats, and even a blitz user. This forced a really quick read on the goal line, which got an interception for us. But after a back and forth match, we swapped to nickel 3-3 odd overload 3 press in the 2nd quarter. And this proved to be the right decision, resulting in a sack on 1st down and 3rd down, which made him quit the game when we got the ball back. All in all, this defense makes it easy to win games and force rage quits. Now that you've got the best blitz defense in Madden 26, you need an offense to match. Click the video on screen to learn the tips that'll have you scoring at will.